Did you know that the oldest evidence of human existence wasn't found in Europe or Asia, but in Africa? For centuries, the narrative of African history has been filtered through a European lens, often overlooking the continent's rich pre-colonial past and the voices of its own people. Today, we delve into an African history of Africa, from the dawn of humanity to independence by Zeinab Badawi, a groundbreaking work that seeks to reclaim Africa's historical narrative. Badawi, a renowned broadcaster and journalist, embarked on an extraordinary journey across more than 30 African countries. Her goal was to interview historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, and oral historians, piecing together a comprehensive history of the continent from an African perspective. This isn't just another history book, it's a powerful act of historical reclamation. Badawi's mission is to challenge the dominant narratives that have long marginalized African voices and perspectives. She aims to restore Africa to its rightful place as a central actor in world history, not just a passive recipient of external forces. The book begins not with European exploration or the transatlantic slave trade, but with the very origins of humanity. Africa is not merely the backdrop for human evolution, it is the cradle of humankind. The evidence, from fossil discoveries in the Great Rift Valley and Jebel Irhoud to genetic studies, overwhelmingly points to Africa as the birthplace of Homo sapiens. Badawi meticulously examines the evidence, highlighting the importance of sites like Oldoway Gorge in Tanzania and Omo Kaibish in Ethiopia, where groundbreaking discoveries have reshaped our understanding of human origins. Moving beyond prehistory, Badawi explores the rise of ancient African civilizations, challenging the notion that Africa was a land without history before European contact. She shines a light on the sophisticated political, economic, and social systems that flourished across the continent for centuries. From the early state formations along the Nile River to the complex trade networks that crisscrossed the Sahara, Africa was a hub of innovation and cultural exchange. The book details the rise and fall of powerful medieval empires like Ghana, Mali, and Songhai, whose wealth and influence extended across vast territories. It also examines the legacy of Great Zimbabwe, a magnificent stone-built city that stands as a testament to African ingenuity, and the Kingdom of Benin, renowned for its intricate bronze sculptures and highly organized society. The Ethiopian Empire, with its ancient Christian traditions and unique cultural identity, also takes center stage. Badawi emphasizes the importance of understanding these empires not as isolated entities, but as interconnected players in a global network of trade and cultural exchange. Of course, no history of Africa would be complete without addressing the devastating impact of colonialism. Badawi confronts this painful chapter head-on, examining the scramble for Africa, the brutal realities of colonial rule, and the courageous resistance of African peoples. She highlights the stories of resistance leaders like Queen Zinga of Angola, who fought tirelessly against Portuguese colonization, and Menelik II of Ethiopia, whose victory at the Battle of Odwa in 1896 stands as a symbol of African defiance against European domination. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, where European powers carved up the African continent without any African representation, is exposed for the cynical act of imperial greed that it was. Badawi details the consequences of this arbitrary division, which continue to shape the political landscape of Africa today. The book concludes with the era of independence, examining the challenges and triumphs of African nations as they emerge from colonial rule. Badawi explores the complex process of nation-building, the struggles for political stability, and the ongoing quest for economic development. She highlights the contributions of key figures like Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana and Nelson Mandela of South Africa, who inspired movements for liberation and equality across the continent. A key theme throughout Badawi's work is the importance of oral history as a source of historical knowledge. In many African societies, oral tradition has been the primary means of preserving and transmitting history for generations. Badawi emphasizes that oral history is not a lesser form of history, but a vital source of information that can complement and enrich written records. She showcases examples of how oral traditions have been used to reconstruct dynastic lists, migration patterns, and social customs in regions where written archives are scarce. Badawi also challenges the misconception that Africa lacks a written history. She highlights the existence of ancient writing systems like hieroglyphics in Egypt and Guizi in Ethiopia, as well as the rich tradition of Arabic scholarship in West Africa. She points to the Timbuktu manuscript, a vast collection of ancient texts that cover a wide range of subjects, from law and theology to astronomy and medicine, as evidence of Africa's intellectual heritage. The book also delves into the complexities of the African Atlantic world, exploring the impact of the transatlantic slave trade on African societies. Badawi challenges the notion that Africans were passive victims of the slave trade, highlighting the ways in which African rulers and communities actively shaped the course of events. She acknowledges the complicity of some African leaders in the trade, while also emphasizing the widespread resistance to enslavement and the resilience of African cultures in the diaspora. Badawi's work has profound implications for our understanding of modern Africa. By reclaiming the continent's history, she provides a foundation for addressing contemporary challenges and building a more just and equitable future. The book supports modern debates about national identity, Pan-Africanism, decolonizing education, and cultural memory. It also sheds light on the roots of many present-day conflicts, which can be traced back to the arbitrary borders and divide-and-rule tactics imposed by colonial powers. Badawi's An African History of Africa is not just a book, it's a call to action. It challenges us to rethink our assumptions about Africa and to listen to the voices of those who have long been silenced. It is a vital contribution to the ongoing project of decolonizing knowledge and reclaiming the historical narrative. This book helps recenter Africa as a birthplace of humanity and a continent of empires, states, religion, trade, science, and culture. The sites like Great Zimbabwe, Meroe, Timbuktu, Aksum, and Benin City are key to heritage politics and tourism. Modern infrastructure corridors, mineral extraction, and trade routes often overlay older patterns of movement and resource access. The African diaspora in the Americas and Europe often seeks historical grounding beyond slavery alone, and this book is an origin point. Colonial distortion of African history is a major controversy, with Africans portrayed as without history, with pre-colonial states minimized, and European conquest framed as civilizing. Figures like Nzinga, Amina Rines, Hatshepsut, and Amina of Zozo are often underrepresented. Ultimately, An African History of Africa offers a powerful and compelling vision of the continent's past, present, and future. It is a book that should be read by anyone who wants to understand the complexities and richness of African history, and to appreciate the contributions of African peoples to the world.